So we have a big
pause.
Yeah,
easy in there.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, you're pretty close.
He went first, man.
Yeah.
It's called a big dose of D.
The big shows we always have on Thursdays.
Yes.
Sheil Kapadia will join us at 3. Mike Mayock again at 4 o'clock.
Take that, Lombardi.
Yeah. So easy to replace. Took us almost no time. We'll remember Miracle in the Meadowlands number 2. 2? Later on.
Mike Quick.
Yeah. So here's where I'm starting. I'm you guys, meaning
That would be number 3. I'm sorry.
Yes, I know. I was waiting for you to correct me.
I just thought about that.
Yeah. That's your whole thing is that it's 3. So I was thinking back in time, and I started thinking about your Eagles teams, and
Great teams,
great teams, and how after a few years of real top level success, the entire mood around the Eagles became, they absolutely positively have to win the Super Bowl. You guys had to win.
Yeah.
And then I thought about the Phillies teams of the last few years. And in 2022, they were a nice surprise to everyone, went to the World Series. Then the next year, they did a little bit worse. And then last year, we said going into the playoffs and all season long, the Phillies have to win the World Series this year. And then I started thinking about this year's Eagles. And 2 years ago, we go to the Super Bowl when nobody's expecting it. Last year, a little bit worse, I would actually say a lot worse, like the Phillies were in the next year. And this year, they're really, really good. And I think people hope they win the Super Bowl and feel like they can win the Super Bowl. But I don't feel any have to. And the truth is that this team has to win the Super Bowl this year. I think that the 2 biggest reasons, number 1, is Saquon. We are getting an all-time season out of Saquon. And even if he's productive next year, I think we can all look each other in the eyes and say, given how much he's being used this year, his age, all that sort of stuff, that we can't really count on this Saquon 2 years in a row. We also can't count on the health we've had. All you have to do is look at Detroit, look at all the injuries that they've had, blah, blah, blah. And I just don't feel from people, I guess, the urgency that they have to win this year. And I really think that they do. And I'm trying to figure out whether I'm misreading it or if people feel the same level of urgency they felt with your Eagles teams, that felt with the Phillies last year, because I don't feel it with the Eagles this year.
You mean you don't feel it from the fan base?
From the fan base.
Yes,
I don't feel like this wave of we got to do it this year.
I think I feel some of it. To your point, I don't know if it's as tense as it was then. We hadn't won one, and so those teams sort of carried the weight of the history of the franchise, and not winning a Super Bowl and getting so close. It just each year that weight became heavier and heavier. This team, just like the 22 team, they have the benefit of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl in 2017. That I don't know if the fan base has that much pressure on the teams. I'm with you. I would agree. They need to win this year. You look at how difficult it is to have sort of these back-to-back years where you're going to get a chance to be in position. You look at some of these younger teams. I know we're a young team. I'm just saying it's not as if these other teams aren't going to be better each year. So it's not as if you're going to have some easy cakewalk back to the Super Bowl next year. Not only that, eventually these salaries that have been kicked down the road will start to kick in. And you don't know how that impacts the roster and who will be here. So to your point, you got to get it done this year. I just don't see how you don't see it that way, to where you have to get it done this year. And you have everybody's good right now. We got Dallas Goedert coming back in a couple weeks. You got a young defense. If you can get that number 1 seed, man. Not only that, I feel good against the AFC. Listen, I know we haven't played.
There's good teams out there.
We didn't play Buffalo this year. I get it. But we beat Baltimore.
Right.
Kansas City does not scare me. It just doesn't. And they may beat you, but I'm not going into a game saying, they don't have Tyreek Hill and all those guys. Travis Kelce. Remember Travis Henry, running back from Buffalo?
I do.
Yeah, tragic ending to his life. I believe it was.
I didn't remember that.
I think so. I could be wrong. Hopefully I didn't bury somebody that's alive.
Right.
But as I move forward, I've done that in the past. Yes, I'm trying to move fast. I'm trying to move forward and move past it.
All right.
I don't fear the Chiefs. Travis Kelce isn't 5 years younger where he was 5 years ago. So I feel like this is the best time to get it done. I really do. I feel like this, and primarily you brought up Saquon. That is a huge reason.
Huge.
It is a huge reason. Dude, I look at these teams, Spike. I look at these teams, and I say to myself, there are a lot of teams that envy the Philadelphia Eagles. First of all, how in the hell did we get all these guys on the offensive side of the ball as good as they are and making the amount of money that they're making?
By the way, they're paying the entire offensive line, too.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Everybody over there, not just skilled guys, offensive line as well. Everybody but Cam Jurgens is, and well, even Becton has a decent salary for a guard. But, man, they have so much money tied up over there with that amount of talent. And then to have the young guys sort of not even maximize their potential, but reaching their potential the way that they are under Vic Fangio. No one has a setup like the Eagles have right now. They don't. And, dude, I'm telling you, Saquon with that offense and this defense and the philosophy in which they have defensively, this is the year. This is the year it has to get done.
They have to get it done. 215-592-9494. Do the Eagles have to win the Super Bowl this year? And the last thing I'd say that you brought up there, and Saquon is a major, major thing, is Zach Bond, as much as we want Zach Bond, you can't pay everybody.
That's the other thing. I didn't even get into that part of it. Yeah.
You can't pay Zach, but you probably can't pay Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. And eventually you're going to have to pay Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean.
Potentially Jordan Davis.
And Darius Slay's probably not going to be here next year. Dallas Goedert's not going to be here next year. So I have faith in the Eagles that they can sort of rebuild, but you can't.
You're not going to have this type of advantage.
This type of year, they have to
advantage.
take advantage of it. Do the Eagles have to win the Super Bowl this year? 215-592-9494. Jack, where are you on this?
Yeah, so I don't feel it. Like, I want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, we all want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. But I'm not living in this pre-Super Bowl angst where they have to get the job done. I kind of think they're going to eventually get one with this core. They have the youngest defense in the league. This is a lot like that Chiefs team that beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl in 2022, where they had the youngest defense.
But a better defense.
Yeah,
like, this defense is better than that defense.
I think so too. Like, they're only going to get better from that standpoint. You guys are all doom and gloom about Saquon with whatever his career is going to turn out to be. The reality is, I just got a Super Bowl. Like, you know, if they win one, great. If they don't,
that was 7 years ago.
Nah, but we just got
8
one.
years ago.
But that was 52 years of angst, though. It's hard to recreate 52 years of angst when it comes to this team winning a Super Bowl. I'm more in the passenger seat. If they win, great. If they don't, they'll be back. I think this team has staying power. I don't think it's a make or break kind of year for the Eagles. So I don't have that kind of same fear that you guys do.
You don't know how long you're going to have Lane, by the way. That's another thing that who knows when. I don't think he's on the precipice of retiring next year, but you never know. I don't know. I think that there needs to be a feeling of urgency around the team, and we hope they'll be back. But man, the number of teams who got to the Super Bowl, didn't win it, and assumed they would be back it's a long list of teams, you know? And God forbid we get there and lose. We know what it's like to try to get back to the Super Bowl after losing the Super Bowl. We saw what happened with that last year. You see what's happening with the 49ers this year.
Well, think about hell, even my career, we only got one shot at it.
Which is crazy to think that team was only in there that time.
Just one Super Bowl, yeah.
All right, so we do have a next question today, because we have another $50 gift card to the Stateside Distillery Tasting Room there in Fishtown. Joe and Hugh going to be there for the pregame show on Sunday, though the pregame show along with the Ugly Sweater Block Party. So it is Jake Gyllenhaal's birthday. Jake Gyllenhaal is 43. Jake Gyllenhaal has a famous sibling as well, Maggie Gyllenhaal. So for next question day, you will call with your sports point. Then we will ask you, give us your, do you want to say go-to siblings? I like go-to
Notable
siblings.
go-to?
Notable siblings, yes. Do you have, Jack? And this can be, by the way, in movies or TV or sports, just notable.
So it's not even close to being a winning answer?
Yeah.
And maybe because it's the anniversary of a famous play in Eagles history, so that's why it's top of mind. Oh. But Casey and Clay Matthews?
That is the worst answer anyone could have ever given. Are you being serious?
What?
Casey and Clay Matthews.
Come on, man.
We always get the wrong brother here.
We did get the wrong brother in that
And
one.
we got Stacey Andrews and Sean Andrews. That's another winning answer taken off the board.
Please, thank you for taking it off the board.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I didn't want to take any big answers, so I went with Stacey Andrews and Sean Andrews and Casey Matthews and Clay Matthews.
That actually shows great respect for our listeners, not trying to take the winning answer off the board.
Actually, not even close to the winning answer.
Not
Not
even
even
close.
close to it.
Ike, notable siblings.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Venus and Serena.
Oh, see, that is a possible winning answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Venus and Serena.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Probably, and we know there's a couple guys that had some good careers. But when you talk about like Serena is arguably the greatest female athlete of this, certainly of this generation.
Sure,
was in the argument for greatest female athlete of all time.
Yep.
And Big Sister wasn't no slouch.
Yeah, it was awesome too. Yeah.
Yes, Big Sister was no slouch.
Pretty talented.
So I like that. Yes.
So I'm going to take a possible winning answer off the board. It's because there's so many of them, and that is the Jacksons.
Well, of course. Yeah, that's a GOAT. That's a GOAT answer right there.
You know, and everybody forgets about what a GOAT LaToya was in that Playboy spread.
Yeah.
But you got,
What?
well, come on, I remember it. Michael, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, Janet. You kidding me? That's quite a set of siblings.
LaToya, one more.
LaToya. Wait, I said LaToya.
Yeah, one more.
Jackie.
Yeah, one more.
Who did I forget?
Sister.
I forgot another sister?
Yes, the oldest.
I don't know who it is.
Rebe.
Rebe Jackson?
Yes.
I've never heard of
You
that.
never heard of the song Centipede?
I don't think I know
It's
it.
the only song she has.
Really?
Yes.
Did she have a solo career, or
Yeah,
she
I think
must have?
Yeah, she had that. That's what I mean. That was her only song right there, Centipede.
What's her name again?
Rebe.
Rebe?
Rebe Jackson, yes.
And she's an original Jackson
Yes,
kid?
I think she's the oldest. She may be behind Jackie. I think Jackie's the oldest brother,
Okay.
or is Jermaine the oldest?
I don't know.
Yeah, so she's definitely the oldest sister, but she's I don't know where she falls at in the brothers.
Jermaine had a nice, well, I was going to say nice. He had a solo career.
Yeah.
Not a nice little solo career. He had a solo career.
And you forgot Tito.
No, I said Tito.
Oh, you said Tito?
I said Tito. Okay. I said Tito. All right, 215-592-9494. Did the Eagles have to win the Super Bowl
Rebe
this
is
year?
often the forgotten
Yes.
Jackson.
I didn't even know she existed.
Yes.
Forgotten. I didn't even know about her in the first place.
Well, fun fact, one of those Jackson boys was a cousin, not a brother.
Which one?
I don't know. I don't know if it was Randy. It might have been Marlon. So you got Jermaine, Jackie, Tito, Michael, Randy, and Marlon. That's 6.
LaToya.
Well, I'm talking about the brothers.
The brothers,
So
right.
6.
Yeah.
I think one of them was a cousin.
And again, just to clear this up,
Janet
don't.
was not in the damn Jackson 5.
a different question about the Jackson
Okay.
5. Is that Randy Jackson from American Idol?
No.
That's a good question. No.
No.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah. Not related to Mark Jackson, the basketball coach,
Yes.
either.
Every Jackson isn't related.
Yes.
Well, Randy Jackson being in
That's a
that and then
question
in the
I
music
got it.
business, I think
Yes.
is a fair question.
Reggie Jackson, also not part of the Jacksons.
Cheltenham's finest.
Yes, there's a lot of Jacksons that weren't part of the
Deshaun.
The Jackson. Deshaun
Yeah,
Jackson
Deshaun is
also,
not a part.
not that I know of. All right, 215-592-9494. Do the Eagles have to win the Super Bowl this year? And for next question, for the $50 gift card to the Stateside Distillery Tasting Room, what is your go-to sibling?